Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of Around the Kingdom, a Disney Magic Kingdoms podcast by a guy who's wearing some comfy clothes. Coming to you straight from BuzzTube, I am your host, Steve Squirrel, and joining me from Niceland is Disney Girl. Say hello to everyone, Disney Girl.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Steve Squirrel, for having me on the show today.
Well, thanks as always to you and the listeners for joining us this week as we explore the wonderful world of Disney Magic Kingdoms. We are so glad that you're all here. If you want to be more involved with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at ATK Podcast and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ATK Podcast. Here you'll find out before anyone else about any breaking news that we hear, information on contests and giveaways, when new shows are published, and of course my ramblings and photos from my day-to-day playing. The kingdom's always changing, so for reference, this show is being recorded on Wednesday, December 5th at around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, we're so excited. We have Disney Girl here for the first time. I've been really looking forward to having you on the show. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into Disney Magic Kingdoms, and what made you want to start doing YouTube videos?
Well, as you said already, I come from Niceland, and so clearly I live in a tower, and all I do is dream about magic and fairy tales. As for what sort of made me start playing Disney Magic Kingdoms and starting YouTube, that's kind of one and the same. So around Christmas time last year, I was browsing the App Store, looking for a new Disney game that would sort of make me feel like I was going to Disneyland every day to explore the parks. And I came across Disney Magic Kingdoms. I watched the previews and, did a little bit of research about the game stuff and found out that it was a Disney kind of world builder game. And it included a lot of like the storylines and stuff with all kinds of characters. And it sort of was seemed like the perfect game for me to be playing. So I downloaded it and thought, well, why not record and do some of my voice impressions as I play the game, which I clearly love doing voice impressions if you guys have seen any of my videos. So I started Disney Girl, and pretty much the rest is history.
Well, your impressions are fantastic, and I love. It reminds me of when I was with when I'm with my 5-year-old daughter and we're playing, and the characters will get into a storyline, and they both pop up on the screen, and then she'll just kind of look at me and be like, waiting for something, because she doesn't quite read yet, so she needs me to read to her, but I'm not just going to read to her. Of course, I'm going to do some sort of impersonation, because I'm her goofy father. And so I really enjoy doing that, and that's what makes me really enjoy watching your videos as well. They're just a ton of fun. I've showed some to her, and she just totally gets a kick out of it. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. So whoa, who's that? Is that Mickey? Hi, Mickey.
Oh, hi! Thank you for having me on the show today.
Oh, it's so good to have you on the show. But now, I heard that you might be getting a little something from Minnie for Christmas this year.
Oh, yeah. I got something real special for Minnie this year. She'll never guess what it is.
No, I don't think she will. Hey, Minnie!
Oh, hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you on the show. Now, Mickey's here, and he was just talking to us, and he said that he got you something for Christmas. What do you think he might have gotten you?
Oh, I know what that is. It has to be a new bow. He gets me one every year.
Oh, man, this is Sebastian, and let me tell you, I love red bows. And the reason I love them? Because they match my shell, of course. Now, Minnie, can you make me a red bow?
Of course I can.
Now, I also need to find myself a dingle hopper for Ariel. Hey, Ariel, hey, are you around here?
Oh, hello.
Well,
it's so nice to meet you all.
Yes, listen, Ariel, I need the thingamabobbers, and I need the dingle hoppers, and I need everything else. Okay, boy? Let's go.
Well, that was amazing.
Yeah, so thank you very much for indulging me in some. So awesome! I'm really, and please feel free to do some impersonations throughout the show if you find them to be funny at any point. Maybe I'll throw Sebastian in there every now and then, or I could do Spamly. All right, I got that. But
Have you seen the movie?
Yes, of course. It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I've been doing the voice impression for his family based off of like just the trailer. So I really don't have a full gist of what he sounds like yet. So I kind of just made it up and everyone's like, yeah, sort of, not really. Like,
Well,
good try.
Being from New York, I kind of have a little bit of Spamly in me. That's just part of who we are. So, all right, let's get back to the
Of course,
show.
I can hear it right now.
Let's get back to the show. Let's talk about our week in the kingdom. So, Disney Girl, what have you been doing this week in the kingdom?
Oh, I've been doing lots. So in terms of the event stuff, I guess at the sort of the start of the week, I got Cinderella's comfy cozy costume, which was really exciting. I really, really like that one. I'm glad that Disney Magic Kingdoms actually included it in the event. I was a little bit worried they weren't going to. And let's see, I unlocked, collected, and welcomed Yes. So that was a huge process. And I guess Vanellope is unlocked with this whole Cinderella thing with the comfy cozy costume and everything. So we've only been able to collect one of her broken glass slippers for that. So I know everybody is waiting to find out how we get the second one. So I'm one of those people waiting to find out. I did a lot of the Aladdin secondary storyline, and I think I got pretty much to the end, except I need the Prince Ali costume, and it's the only thing I don't have in the entire collection. So I'm pretty much at like a stop point unless I open a legendary chest just to try and get that. So I'm saving my gems right now for Fix It Felix Jr., which is supposed to be coming out. So really excited about that, but kind of holding on to the gems.
Sure.
I built BuzzTube, which was great, and I also have unlocked and I've started to collect for Jasmine's costume, which is great. Now, a little sneak peek in, I haven't even done this in my video yet, but I have collected all the Wi-Fi tokens, all of the glitched fabrics, and I've got like 9 more of her special, what is it called? I think comfy jasmine fabric, I believe it's called, left to collect. So I still have a few of those, but I've only been collecting for like, 2 days now, or not even. So I think that's going pretty well. In terms of I guess I've also unlocked Shank. I forgot about that. That was like literally just a few hours ago.
Good. Well, at least you're on target, right?
Yeah, no, I was like thinking, oh, what else did I do? Now, in terms of like things to do with my main storyline, I usually don't do too much while an event is going on. It's just sort of my thing and sort of how I approach the event, just sort of to make sure that I'm successful, is I sort of slow things down. But I did a little bit for you for this week's Around the Kingdom podcast. So I leveled up Thumper to level 7, which I'm surprised I was able to do that this quickly because I literally just got him like a couple weeks ago. Mother Gothel's at an 8. Chief Bogo's at a 3. Super pathetic. But by accident, I brought him into my kingdom like the night before the event was starting. And I said to myself, like, and I was telling everybody, I'm like, I'm not bringing Chief Bogo in until after the event. And I was like, listed all these reasons. And then I accidentally clicked him. So I had to, bring him into the kingdom, start that whole dialogue thing. So that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I've accidentally done a little too many welcomings during this event, and fortunately not gotten burned too badly.
That's good. That's really, really good. I'm looking forward, though, till the event, like when it's over, because I finally now collected everything for Bambi. Ooh. So I can bring in Bambi when the event is over. Nice. So that's really fun. Yeah. I think that's
awesome.
Pretty much it. I mean, that's a lot of stuff, but
yeah, that's a lot. It seems like in the main storyline, you're right behind me. I just welcomed Bambi just maybe a week or two ago, so not too far behind.
So you must be close to the pirates, because I've heard as soon as you bring Bambi in, it kind of like triggers a whole bunch of other stuff.
I am. So we'll talk about that now in my week in the kingdom. So I still I had the quest to welcome Mowgli, and I did get all his tokens, but I'm going to wait until the event is over to move on with that storyline, because we just talked about that. But yes, no, the pirate storyline does come quickly after Bambi. And so I got the welcome Tia Dalma quest. And that is going
great.
to take a very long time. Yeah, so first you welcome Captain Barbosa, and then you do some more stuff, and then you welcome get the quest for Tia. And I do not have very many collectors, so what I've been doing, because I just need to work on it, is I've been leveling up Captain Barbosa and the Bambi characters, because they can actually all help with Tia's tokens. Yeah, the ears they can all help with. However, for the Heart Locket, only Davy Jones can help. The other characters are Peter Pan characters,
You would have to continue, I bet, the
right.
Jungle Book storyline to get that.
Exactly. So I'd have to do that storyline. And Mulan can also get them, but I do not have anyone from the Mulan set. So
Neither do I.
Yeah, interesting.
Horrible.
Mulan actually is one of the movies that I didn't watch until my daughter got into it more recently. It wasn't one that I watched when I was younger, so it's not one of the ones I was ready to start buying legendary chests for. But it's working its way up because I've watched a lot of Mulan and Mulan 2, lots of Mulan 2 also. But okay, so that's what's going on with that. The last couple of days, I worked on getting Daisy and Jessie to 10. Just because they don't have any tokens that interfere when you get a character to 10. I hit a magical level of 44, which gives me a whopping 1,300 magic and 1 gem.
I'm so sad.
The most exciting part...
I think they need to change that.
The most exciting part about level 44 is watching Pluto dig up the little thing in the dirt. I mean, the leveling is... I get it at the beginning, like it makes you feel like you're doing something, especially like, level 1 through 10, maybe 15. But for people like that have been playing as long as us, like when you get to like level 44 and you get 1 gem and 1,300 magic, you're like, really?
Yeah, because it takes so long to get to that point.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, at least give me 5 gems.
Right, exactly. Like 5 gems, like 2,000 magic and 5 gems. But what's 2,000 magic at where we're at right now? You know what I mean? Like that's...
Yeah, it's not as bad as the calendar reward. And I think I pointed this out. Like when you get 350 magic, I'm like,
yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
What can I buy with that? Literally nothing.
So,
I don't think you can buy a decoration for that price.
Yeah, so it's a little underwhelming, but yeah, so now level 44. So one thing I did mention was that I was leveling up Captain Barbosa and the Bambi characters, and that's because I mentioned on the show last week that I was able to create, with the help of a little bit of some Chinese hackers, a safe list that was, basically it was a big post of like what everyone's quests were going to be, so I was able to make a safe list of characters to level. And so all of the characters on this list, well, actually, my list technically is do not level these characters. So anyone that's not on the list is safe to level. So that is a great list. A lot of people asked for it. It's on the Around the Kingdom Facebook page. So if you want to find that list, check out the Around the Kingdom Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook and you're on Twitter, you can DM me and I will send it to you. But this way you can continue leveling. And not just sit there, because I mean, as a new player, it really stunk to just sit there and not be able to level your characters. Like people tell you just stop leveling for a whole month, and you're like, I've only been playing for 4 weeks, why am I not gonna level? So I do have the safe list, and even for people out there who've been playing longer, like for example Ariel is a safe character to level, and she actually coincides very well with all the 4-hour quests, which are EC collectors. So,
the only problem I'd have to jump in, and say with leveling someone like Ariel up at this point is that she is not magic anymore. She is event currency. So she's hearts when you level her up. So I think that, for a lot of people, I think that could be a really dangerous to spend 5,000 hearts, because some people are having trouble collecting enough event currency.
Right.
Yeah. So I was actually fortunate enough, like right when the event was starting, I had just sent Ariel out with magic, and then it wasn't until I started collecting for her again, I was like, oh, how many tokens do I need for this round? And I saw that you needed 5,000 hearts. And I was like,
I
yeah.
did not even realize that about Ariel, so that is a really,
It
really...
goes for all the Disney princesses that have comfy,
okay.
cozy costumes.
Yeah,
So
very good side note. Thank you so much for that. I was also going to mention like people like Baymax, for example. He's
he's safe.
you know, but he's you know, he's with magic, but he's also a safe character to level. So you can just keep sending guys out for, you know, that epic item over and over and over and over until you just get it. You know, it's just something to kind of kill time. You know, you're just killing time. So why not level Baymax? So anyway,
Yeah,
if you want to get if you want access to the safe list, check out my Facebook page or hit me up on Twitter. I'd be happy to send that over to you. All right, so that is it for my week in the kingdom. And so now we move on to the newcomer tip of the week. And during this segment, I usually ask my guest to provide a tip. And I was hoping maybe you could provide some sort of tip for the people who are playing in, you know, relevant to this week, which is kind of like a mid-event tip.
Okay, so I think this is probably the most basic, and for a lot of players who have been around a long time, you know, this should be really obvious, but I think a lot of people forget that their happiness is super important. For new players especially, like getting your happiness to ecstatic and keeping it there for the entire event. Like, I understand sometimes that can be really hard because you have to check your game a lot and open a lot of chests and stuff like that. So, you know, I think that happiness level is probably the most important thing all the time generally, but I think especially for events with those harder drop rates and stuff like that. And two, Merlin can also help you out with his, I think it's Happiness Safeguard it's called, with elixirs and stuff like that. So if you're going to be away from your game for, you know, like X amount of time and you're worried like, 12 to 16 hours, like I probably wouldn't leave my kingdom that long. I know I check my kingdom way too much, but yeah, I'd probably put the safeguard on if I was gonna leave it for any longer than that. So I just have to say that the one tip I'd give is get your happiness to ecstatic and just keep it there. It will help you so much.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is very, very important, and the bigger your kingdom gets, the faster your happiness drops. So you need to keep people happy. So
you know what? That I did not know.
Yep.
So yeah. That's interesting.
The more people that you have, just like for example, the bigger your kingdom gets, the more people that walk around for wishes. You know, like at the beginning of the game, there's like 2 or 3. You know, by the time your kingdom's pretty large, you know, you have like 20 people running around. It has to do with the size of the kingdom. It's I definitely noticed it incrementally expanding. So. Same thing with expanding land and building new attractions, and then watching my happiness go down faster. So, you know, you have to keep, the more you play, the more you have to keep on top of it.
Absolutely. Ooh, actually, that reminds me. That was something else I did. Was I got the 3 million land slot? I totally forgot about that.
Wow.
So that's actually decorated now. So I've got the 1, the 2, and the 3 million land slot.
Woo! That is
it's hard
breaking the
but
bank.
I know. I've got like hardly any magic now. I'm like, oh.
I'm staring at the 750,000 slot behind Space Mountain, going, oh, man, I just can't afford you right now.
You haven't even unlocked that yet?
Nope, I haven't even unlocked that one yet. So
how have you gotten so far in your kingdom without that?
I don't know. I have very good resource management, I guess. But
clearly.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of resource management, let's move on into the news. Well, if you want to talk about magic potions in real life, you're talking about cash. Disney Magic Kingdoms has reported over $114 million in revenue and 70 million downloads of the game. Congratulations. Gameloft had a big press release to announce the announcement, and this is great. This is great news. It means that people are playing the game. It means people are loving the game. 70 million people have downloaded the game, and they're making money, and that's what's going to get better content. And you know, there was a big debate today on this topic, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but people are basically saying, like, this is why I'm not going to spend any money on this game because of this and that or whatever. And listen, I understand if you don't want to spend money on this game. That is fine. Free to play is totally an option, and a lot of people I know do it. But you don't have the right to complain about content that you can't get right away. It's just the fact of the matter is that all content will be available to you. You just need to be patient. It's going to be slower for you than for someone who's paying for chests or for additional characters, premium characters. You're going to go slower, but everything you can, want to get will be available in chests that you can save up gems for. There's lots of ways to get gems for free. So congratulations to Disney for making that money, and we're really glad that you can give us all this amazing content for the game.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Sure. Now the next thing is something else that they're giving away. It's they on their Facebook page and on Twitter, they announced a contest to give away 250 gems, which again is more free stuff. They say you don't need to speak Cubertese to know that this prize is dynamite. Log in every day through the next 10 days for your chance to win 250 gems. So the rules are just log in every day between December 4th and December 13th. Take a screenshot of your daily rewards calendar showing that you logged in during that day and submit the screenshot into the comments on their Facebook page. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And you have a chance to win 250 gems. And it's usually not, I can't speak to knowing whether I know this or not because I have no idea. But usually when they offer like little bundles like this, it's usually not just one prize. There's usually like 3 or 4 or 5 winners. So, the odds are a little bit better than they were if it was just one. But hey, listen, it's a chance to win 250 free gems, which is awesome.
That is totally awesome.
So, one more thing before we get into the event for this week. The Chinese hackers are at it again. We talk about them on every show, but it is relevant to knowing what's going on in the kingdom. The December calendar rewards list is out, and all month long, it shows you what the different rewards are. The two main notable things that we were talking about in the last week's show was that there's going to be on Christmas Eve a Mickey's hat stand, a Christmas hat stand, which is awesome. Right, Mickey?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
And then on the 25th will be the Sapphire chest. Everyone's favorite chest, best chest in the game. Everyone is really excited for that. So I
have a question. What did you get last year?
Nothing. I wasn't playing last year.
Oh no!
I've been playing the game for about 4.5 months now, or so.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And you've made it to Bambi and all that. Wow! Congratulations! You're crushing it.
I play a lot. Let's just say that.
I play a lot too, but I mean, I started back like right before Christmas. I believe it was, and so I think it was like my 3rd day or something like that, and I opened one of those chests and I was like, you gotta be kidding, I hope these happen all the time. So I got Wally out of it, so I was like,
wow,
what? I haven't even unlocked any of that yet.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at my calendar now. I have been playing for 158 days total and 158 days consecutive. Yeah, that's 5 months. So
the first Christmas. Oh yeah, my goodness.
My first Christmas. It's I need an ornament or something.
I was just about to say. You need an ornament.
So in the Sapphire chest, the contents of it were made available, and so the premium characters that you can purchase with gems, and the premium attractions that you can purchase with gems are what are the contents of the chest. So Pluto, Rex, Boo, Merryweather, Maximus, Hook, Davy Jones, Jack Sparrow, Wally, Flash, King Louie, and Flower. And then, the premium attractions. Here's the thing. If you have all of them, you will get 100 gems as your reward. So if you're thinking about getting somebody, I would suggest not doing it because it would be much more valuable to get them than 100 gems. Right now, the only 2 people I need out of this whole list is King Louie, who I can technically purchase now with a bundle or gems, and Hook, which I'm not up to yet. So I wonder, I don't think they would give you a character that you weren't up to yet, would they?
I technically did last year because Wally, I was not even close to unlocking that storyline at all.
Interesting.
I was literally just started with Mickey. I think I had gotten Woody at that point or something. Maybe Jesse, but like nobody from Monsters Inc. or anything. So technically,
So maybe,
yeah.
yeah. The Hook Jolly Roger bundle though is something I'd like to kind of get. So I'm
It's
kind of
pricey, I heard.
yeah. So we'll see. So hopefully one of those two I'm going to get. So I will not be buying King Louie until after Christmas, and we'll see what happens. The things to note though are that the platinum chest exclusives, the ones that you can't just buy, are not included in the Sapphire chest. So if you're expecting to get your Steamboat or Splash Mountain or, like me, Bambi's Ice Rink, which will elude me forever, they are not available in the Sapphire chest, nor Bambi's Float. Darn you, gold chests. Yeah, so those are not in the Sapphire chest. So it's just the premium characters and attractions you can purchase with gems. So good luck to everyone.
That's fair though, right?
Hey, that's great. That's awesome stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah.
For just about everyone, that's great. And if you're already a seasoned player, 100 free gems is really nice too. So Merry Christmas to everyone. That's a really, really nice Christmas present from.
That really is. They're very generous.
So let's move on into the event. So we are in Wreck-It Ralph Chapter 2 this week. That is what we did. So as Disney Girl was talking about her week, Yes was finally unlocked at the beginning of the week. Her wristbands. So all characters needed the Wi-Fi tokens. She needed wristbands, which were an easy drop. And then her ears were not so much. Lots of people were talking about her ears having a terrible drop rate, and I can assure you I was one of the people who had a really, really bad luck with her at first, but I was lucky and had like 3 drop for me in a row after a long streak of none. But there is no confirmed, there's no bug or glitch or anything. It's just, it seems a lot of bad luck. Did you have any problems getting Yes's ears?
I did. Actually, I had a similar situation as you. It was like I went out a whole bunch of times and no ears hats were coming at all. And then all of a sudden it was like a whole bunch. The only one that was really consistent collecting them for me was Sully. He just, like, it was the only thing he was doing for 4 hours. So it just seemed to be, like, the drop seemed to be pretty good for him. But otherwise, I think he did most of the work collecting for me.
Well, yeah, and it was hard, too, because there was only 2 collectors for her ears. So, you're just sending 2 people out, and when they don't return, it just kind of felt a little bad. But, that's just the way it goes, and so eventually you were able to unlock her. And she came in to play, and one of the great things about her is that she could collect the little radio remote controls that for the Wi-Fi tokens.
Yeah, that was useful, except I didn't get around to it that much because she was just collecting the fabric after that.
Yeah, no, she definitely was a fabric collector, but once fabric was kind of done, you were able to just like bang out the Wi-Fi tokens.
Yeah.
So after you welcomed her, we did some quests. Yes, did some quests with Ralph. They had some conversations talking about how to find Vanellope, and basically Yes said we need to get back to BuzzTube. So you get the quest to build BuzzTube, but Yes needed to be level 2. And if anyone had her at level 2 when they got that quest, then you are the only person in the world that did that first. So you get the quest, you look at it, and you're like, I gotta get more ears. So a couple of years later, and 10,000 event currency, you were able to build BuzzTube. It was an 8-hour build time, and the nice thing with it is also it helps with the Yes tokens. So it can drop ears and bangles, or wristbands for her. So it was nice to have that built.
It's too bad we couldn't have it built first to help us collect for those hard to get years past, right?
Yeah, well, they don't want to make it too easy. This is a long event, so they had to figure out the spacing on it. But the pacing, again, you know, and we'll talk about it more throughout the show, but the pacing's been fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So after BuzzTube was built, the Niceland bundle became available. So you were able to purchase Niceland for either just 150 gems straight up, which is how I purchased it, or Niceland plus 2,500 EC for $3.99, which was another great deal. So, Niceland. What do you think? Is it just as awesome as I like it, or...
Oh, it's totally awesome. One of the things I really wanted to know when I built Niceland, I wanted to know if it was as tall as the Hollywood Tower of Terror. And I was really curious to see, so I was like, oh, I want to put it right beside. But it's a little bit smaller, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. You know, it's the Niceland. It's not you know, it's the Tower of Niceland, not the Tower of Terror. Unless, of course,
no, but I mean, like the size. I just thought like they might have been roughly the same height in the kingdom, just because you know when you want to put taller attractions sort of towards like the back, not right in the front, just blocking the smaller attraction. So I was trying to see how that sort of compared, but yeah.
I was just making a terrible joke. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I took it too.
All right, so once that was done and you had those, there was a couple more quests. The quest to welcome Jasmine became available, and if you did not already have Jasmine, she was available for 1,000 EC and then 5 of each of her tokens. So that was her tiara, and what was her tiara and ears.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things that was noted, I had a friend, because I already had Jasmine, but one of my friends, you know, we were looking through like some token guides and stuff, is that not all of the collectors were able to collect.
I can't wait.
There was a Mickey and Pluto quest, I think, that were able to collect either her ears or her tiara. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that actually they weren't available as collectors for that one specific item. Everyone else was, but there was like one person missing from each of the collections, which was
strange.
Yeah, I found it strange too. I don't know if it was on purpose or by accident, but I found that very strange as well. And she had them. It's not like she didn't have Mickey and Pluto, so it was interesting. Okay, so anyway, after Jasmine was welcomed, if you already had her, then you get the quest to get Jasmine's comfy outfit. This time, you needed 20 glitched fabric instead of 10, and the fabric was still just the uncommon rarity, so it was pretty easy to drop. This time, however, you needed 20 of the comfy fabric, and it was Jasmine's specific comfy fabric, and this was of the rare variety and not uncommon like Cinderella's was. So it was definitely a little bit harder to get. It took me a little while to get, and I just completed it yesterday. And you said you just finished today?
Oh no, I'm still collecting.
Still collecting. That's right.
Yeah, but literally as we're talking, the princess dressing room just dropped me one, so I'm like, yeah, okay, so things are looking good.
Get off your phone. You're on a podcast right now.
iPad, come on.
Okay, well, good. So
and I was like, oh, I need to just check to make sure I'm still getting those fabrics.
Well, good. So you want to make sure you get that in. You try to get that done before tomorrow. But even if you don't have your comfy fabrics done by tomorrow, the quests will still be available, and the places that drop those fabric tokens will still drop them. So it's not like you're in a rush to beat the clock on that regard.
No, I'm not super stressed about it. It's just I want to kind of get the outfit because I want to know what comes next.
One nice thing that was able to be discovered by one of my friends was that if you don't already have Ariel, and you're kind of concerned about the fact that you need to collect for her, Jasmine, in her comfy outfit, can actually collect Ariel ears. So you do have one extra helper built into Jasmine. So that's nice too. So that's the end of Chapter 2. And now we await Chapter 3, which begins tomorrow, which is probably today for most people listening to the podcast. And so first, Shank will be unlocked, and Fix-It Felix Jr., I believe, will probably be unlocked, right at unlock time. He's a premium character, so I'm sure there'll be a bundle. Now, two things we haven't seen yet are the other two concession stands that we were talking about. We still have not seen the Big Cherry concession stand, and we still haven't seen the Milkshake Pancake concession stand. So I wonder if one of them will be part of the Fix-It Felix bundle.
I think it will. it should be anyways. I'm just wondering which one it's going to be.
Yeah, they're both awesome. So
oh yeah, I want both of those. I wanted actually those way more than I wanted the burnt pie stand. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see about Fix-It Felix tomorrow. So if you have your gems saved up, good, and use it. You know where to use it tomorrow. And then probably after some Shank quests get done, and you probably get her to level 2, the Slaughter Race will be open as of tomorrow. And Belle also becomes available technically tomorrow as well. So if we're kind of following the same kind of events, you probably will have Shank unlocked. She'll be building at some point Slaughter Race, and then eventually you'll get the quest to welcome Belle. And if you don't have her, she will be available, as soon as you get to it, which is nice.
I don't know. Actually, my game says 5 days, 11 hours. So
are you looking at Belle's costume, or actually looking at Belle?
Belle. Well, no. I'm just looking at the event screen.
Right. Go over and into the character screen, and go to Beauty and the Beast. And if you don't have Belle, it says unlocks in X number of hours now.
Oh, so she unlocks, but not her costume.
That is right. Her costume, along with Ariel's costume, does not unlock for 5 more days, which is very interesting.
You scared me. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. So it's
available tomorrow?
So I do not have Belle. I actually don't have any of the Beauty of the Beast. Well, actually, I have Beast from the Tower Challenge, and then they had a free legendary chest that they gave out with that, and I actually scored Mrs. Potts. So I have 2 Beauty and the Beast characters that can technically collect for Belle. Most likely, since it is the holiday, I will be purchasing Beauty and the Beast legendary chests for my daughter, and I'll get Belle that way. But she will be available as soon as you can, so at least it gives you a couple of days to work on getting her before the costume would even be available. The interesting thing, though, is that both of the costumes become available at the same time. So I'm kind of curious how that whole next stage of the princesses is going to work.
I feel like we're going to be rushing a lot to try and get those 2 costumes and try and collect what we need for Vanellope, because so far all we've been able to get is the 1 broken glass slipper. So I'm starting to feel a little worried that there's not going to be a whole lot of time to do everything, especially with collecting the fabrics and stuff. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, exactly. The pacing changes with both unlocking in 5 days, so it's going to be interesting. There's still quite a few days left in this event, so
there is.
So there's plenty of time. But no, I agree. And here's my unfortunate philosophy on this: the Cinderella's fabric was uncommon, and Jasmine's fabric was rare. My guess is that Belle's fabric is going to be epic, and Ariel's is going to be legendary. Yeah. So I don't know the numbers or how many there'll be. Ariel's tail was 5. I think 5 legendary fabrics you had to get at the end of that event.
That was hard.
Which was really, really, really hard. So we will see.
I was stress sleeping for days.
Yeah, so that is what is to come. So we will just kind of have to see. But very exciting stuff. The pacing is going really good. One of my concerns was kind of that the event was so long that how are they going to fit a smaller event worth of content into a longer period of time. But with all this extra content in there, it's really keeping the pacing going. So
I love the costumes. I just want to throw that in, that they are honestly such a great addition to an event, to kind of also to give us like some other stuff to do while we're waiting. Because I found that in like other events like Big Hero 6 and Winnie the Pooh, even, it was like we'd unlock a character, but they hadn't released it yet, and we'd have to wait like 3 days or something. And then it's just like,
Right.
and especially for people that gem their way through sometimes. Like I know Swirly Pops does that, and a lot of times just because she wants to show all the dialogue for it,
Right.
and it's like she's literally nothing to do for the whole week. So I find having these fabric things as well to collect for, it's more for us to do, but it's not like it's interfering like in our progress or anything. So I'm really enjoying it. And I think it's cool that they're adding more costumes to the classic characters. I just think it's really fun.
Yeah, no, it's really, really fun. But the costumes are going to be the only way to unlock Vanellope. So it's not just something extra. It's going to be an actual big part of the story.
Yeah.
So we will see.
There.
But all right, that is it for Chapter 2. So stay tuned for Chapter 3. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter at ATK Podcast, or Facebook at facebook.com/ATK Podcast. We'll have all the breaking information for when things unlock. You can ask questions, talk with the community, and just check in. So that is it. Let's move on into the events of the week that just occurred over the last week. There were 3. 2 and 1 ongoing. The first one was Beat Those Scarabs, which we just basically call the Gold Scarab Tapper event. Ranks 1 through 5 get you 500 EC and 2 Radiant Chests. Rank 6 through 50, and then going on all the way to rank 600, gave you a Radiant Chest, and then diminishing amounts of EC. And then if you were below 600, then wah wah. So did you? How did you do in that? Did you get one Radiant Chest, 2 Radiant Chests? How did you do with that?
I got 1. I was in that 50 group.
Yeah.
So not great.
What'd you get?
I got the oh my gosh, what was it? The arcade. The
Fix It, Feel
Felix
It.
Jr. Yeah. Sorry, I was like, what was it?
So do you have all 3 yet? Are you missing any of them?
I don't have Hero's Duty.
Yeah, that's the one I'm missing too. I'm still missing Hero's Duty. So
one of the people that's been commenting on my YouTube a lot is saying like, I keep getting Hero's Duty and nothing else. I'm like, seriously, can we trade here?
We'll talk about that in a little bit, because that is possibly in our feature report. Okay, so the next event is Striking Gold. Striking Gold is otherwise known as the Trophy event, which is another 2-day long event. But this was the first appearance of the Wreck-It Ralph Gold Trophy, which was the Fix It Felix hammer, with some bricks behind it. Rank 1 through 10, it got 3,000 EC. The Wreck-It Ralph Gold Trophy and 20 gems. What an awesome set of rewards! Holy
Can
moly!
I start crying now?
Right.
I wanted that so bad.
Rank 11 through 50 got 2,500 EC, which is a ton of EC, and the Wreck-It Ralph Trophy. And then below that was just EC. There was no other rewards except for EC for ranks below 50. How did you fare in that one?
It was like 276 or something, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I missed it by a lot.
Yeah, I
was really sad.
I actually had intentions of being, doing the skipping and trying to like get in late into it. But I have a lot of the premium characters and a premium attractions. So I do generate trophies very quickly. So I was trying to wait, and like about 30 seconds into me trying to wait, I accidentally clicked on something and I saw the little trophy fly into my character book, and I was like, well, here we go. And I started out in like rank like 2,400 or something ridiculous like that.
Were you able to get it?
Yes, I busted my chops.
Good.
I was collecting every hour on the hour. I was sending out all of my 1 hour guys. I thought to myself mathematically that because like there were quite a few trophy quests that were not EC quests, so you had to make the choice of sending someone out for a magic and trophy, or and not sending them out for EC. And I said that if I could get all the way up and I can get the bonus 2500 EC, then that's more EC than I would have earned just by doing the quests. So it made more sense to do the trophy quests, and it paid off. I kept going up and up and up and up, working my way up slowly, and then I got up to rank 20, and then I was at rank 28 about 5 minutes before the event ended, and when the event ended, I was 48. So people started gemming like crazy, and I was lucky enough to squeak in. So I did get my Wreck-It Ralph Gold Trophy. I'm super excited. My daughter put it out on display right in front of Niceland.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So now, at least now I don't have to sweat the trophy events anymore. I can kind of just let them go. But good luck to you next time on that.
I was hoping it was going to be this time because I have a bit of a knack with these clouds of finding them in my kingdom, even though I know they're really painful to find. I just seem to be quite good at that one. So I was like, oh, why can't it be for the tapping clouds?
Well, that is our third one. Storm Clouds comes back once again. So tap the clouds, 2 days long. And rank 1 through 5 will get 700 EC and 2 Radiant Chests. And then 6 through 50 is 650 in Radiant Chests and working its way down. Radiant Chests go all the way to rank 600 again. So I amazingly have yet to tap a cloud. I even had my daughter not tapping clouds. She was like almost a little too scared to play toward the end of it. I was like, don't touch the cloud. So, so yeah, I don't want to touch any clouds until tomorrow. I don't want to tap any clouds until tomorrow to get on a really low leaderboard and then try to just sneak in that way.
Why?
What do you mean?
Well, why wouldn't you tap the clouds?
Because if you don't tap the clouds now, you become on a like, just like with trophies and things, you get on a less competitive leaderboard. So
no way.
That is one of the big tips that I tell you. So that I try to tell me. Did you know about the leaderboard chain tip? Should I go over that for you?
Probably.
So the way that these events work is that you're on a leaderboard, and the leaderboard goes up to a certain number of rank. Well, there are millions of Disney Magic Kingdoms players, so once a leaderboard fills up with the maximum number of people, a new leaderboard is created. The people that are playing this game, more hardcore, you could say, like us, are logging on at 10 o'clock every day or 11 o'clock, whenever the daily reward is, and they're starting the challenge right away. One strategy is to wait until closer to the end of the event, because you're then going to be on a leaderboard with much more casual players. So if you play and are consistent with your stuff, you will go up. For example, the catch a crab. People are doing the crab catching and getting like 28 crabs and being like, ranked 200 on their leaderboard. And then I had friends that literally just filled up their items, and then 5 minutes before the event ended, they caught, their 3 or 4 crabs and were in first place. So it is a very...
Oh, you mean there is no need to, lose sleep and stuff?
Right, but
That's what you're telling me.
But you're gambling. There's a gamble. You don't know what board you're on, especially with tappers. Tappers, you don't know. So it's a delicate balance of finding the right time to go on. So I'm actually just going to try to wait until probably first thing when I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or 5:30 in the morning on the day of, so I can get at least 2 rounds of clouds in, and then hopefully get first place.
Well, thank you for that tip. That's actually gonna save me a lot. I don't think you understand how much sleep that's gonna save me.
Yeah, it's a gamble. When as a new player, I wanted to tap from the beginning, because I wanted to get all of the extra EC that you're getting whenever you tap the clouds. It's an extra, if there's 10 clouds, it's an extra, 20 EC. Do that 10 times, it's an extra 100 EC. Over the 2 days, 250. And then literally if you start it right at the beginning, as a new player, if you start a tapper event right at the beginning and you set your clock, and you tap your guys as, on the every 2 or 4 hours, you're guaranteed first place. It's simple.
Right.
If especially the 4-hour one's not bad because you can kind of just set your alarm, wake up once in the middle of the night, tap, and then go back to bed. As far as like getting it guaranteed, the 2-hour one stinks because you don't want to keep waking up. But anyway, that's a lot of time that we've spent
but
on.
That's gonna be my night.
the events. But so let us know how you fared with that, and let us know if you're a person that waits to the end. I don't think I've ever made it all the way to the end to actually get on a really low leaderboard, so I'm trying this time. We'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. All right, so next is a segment that I like to call Is It Worth It? It's a segment where we talk about gem characters and attractions, aka the premiums. I'm trying to go in order. And I believe last week I was saying that that Maximus was going to be next, but I believe it's actually Jack Sparrow. So we'll be talking about Jack Sparrow today. Jack Sparrow is a premium character. He costs 450 gems, which when you first get to Jack Sparrow, you were like, are you kidding me? You probably have like 60 gems that you've saved up and are like, yay, I can finally buy myself a legendary chest, and they're like 450. It does seem really steep when you get to that point. Or you also have the option of getting Jack Sparrow plus 100 gems for $9.99. So, what does Jack do? Jack collects tokens for all the pirates. Additionally, he also collects for King Louis and Captain Hook, which are 2 of the later game characters that are harder to collect for. He also helped out in the last Tower Challenge. Last Tower Challenge, Pirates of the Caribbean, were one of the storyline chapters, and he was one of the helpers. So having him was valuable in that. Also, in the crab mini events that we were just talking about, having him as a pirate definitely helps out with collection of the crystal shards, or whatever they are. I call them paper airplanes. But he helps collect the crystal shards, and he also has the 25-second quest, or the whatever it is, the fast quest. I think it's 10 seconds with the crabs, but so that you just go over and you catch the crab and just hit go, rather than waiting the 2 minutes for Pirate Mickey to do it. What do you think about that, Pirate Mickey?
Oh, I don't know.
I caught you off guard there. I like to do that. And then finally, Jack Sparrow now has a costume that was introduced with the last expansion, which was the Pirates expansion, that is supposedly needed for a quest. I have not gotten there yet, and I don't think you have either, right?
I'm sorry, the pirate quest to...
There's a quest where you need his coat to do something, supposedly. But I
have his coat, so I don't know.
Yeah, I have the coat too, but I think it's a requirement for something later on in the Pirates quest line. Like when you're looking for his ship. There's something to do with his ship. So,
oh, I haven't unlocked that yet. That must be something like...
I think it's after Tia. So
okay, that's why I'm like, I don't know anything about this.
So that's kind of it. So what are your thoughts on Jack Sparrow? And the Is It Worth It segment is really more about people who are playing and are first experiencing the premium character, and might be low on gems or might have to make decisions on what money they're going to spend. Like, let's say they only have $10 and they're going to buy one set of, one premium character bundle. Jack Sparrow versus, other premium characters, kind of how does it compare for you?
I would say that he's worth spending your money on, but probably not your gems. I mean, unless you only rely on gems to sort of get through it, but then, have fun collecting 450 gems. It takes a while.
Yeah.
I would say though, like if you had to choose between like Pluto and Jack Sparrow, for example, I'd probably go with Pluto.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be my sort of choice there. But if you are at the point where you're like, oh, do I choose Boo or do I choose Merryweather or Maximus? I would say definitely to choose Jack Sparrow over any of those guys for sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of chronologically, that's when all those characters are there. The Maximus, Boo, Merryweather, Jack Sparrow, they're all together. So yes, I kind of agree. I think that Merryweather is, well, not very useful at all, and we'll get to her later on in a different episode. We talked about Boo last week, and Maximus. Maximus is actually a pretty good character.
I like having him around.
Yeah. He actually
he's helpful with Mother Gothel.
He's very, very helpful when he's helpful, but when he's not, he's a real pain in the bum. But no. But Jack Sparrow, I think, is definitely a good investment. Previously, when Pirates only went to 6, and there was no new pirate storyline, I may have had a different opinion. But now that we have the new Pirates expansion, and there's a whole new pirate storyline, they all go to level 10. It's definitely worth it. And
have you got all your pirates to level 10?
No, no. My 3 main ones are at around 8 or 9 now.
Okay.
And then Davy Jones is at like 5. Barbossa's at like 3 or 4, and then of course I don't have Tia yet. So, but now that they can get to there, I and have all his content, I say he's definitely worth it. And he has some of the coolest animations with the other pirates for their quests. Like the one where he and Elizabeth Swann are just like, do-si-doing around a campfire is one of my favorites to like watch when I'm scrolling around my kingdom. So
yeah, it's super cute.
So that is it. So is it worth it? We're gonna say yes. Ding, ding,
Yes.
ding. It is worth it. So go ahead and get yourself your Jack Sparrow bundle. All right, let's move into the next segment, which is a feature report. Feature report. Feature report. Feature report.
I was waiting for that.
Feature report is a segment where we talk about ideas or features we'd like to be implemented into the game. So we have one that from last week that we didn't have time to get to. So from Cynthia. Cynthia loves concession stands. Don't we all? And she said that she would love to be able to see them all in the game somewhere. She has a collection of them, but would love to be able to see which ones she's missed without having to go dig through a Wikipedia and do a lot of research. So she was wondering maybe there could be some sort of button to go down into the concession stand area and click like a show all. So this way she could go through and see the stands that are not available. For example, when you're looking through floats, and there are floats that are not available because they were premium content at one point, you'll just see something like content not currently available. She'd love to see something like that, but with concession stands. I think that, and then my thoughts also, just throwing in my 2 cents before we discuss this, is if they were to do that, then they could probably even do something like this with decorations, for example, to see, these other past items that you weren't able to get because you weren't there at the time, they were limited time, or whatever it may be. It would actually even be really nice if they said specifically what it was. Like, for example, if there was like a concession stand that was like, like the number 1 that was for like the 1 year anniversary of the game, right? And the number 2, right?
I've heard of them, but I haven't actually been able to see them. So yeah,
yes, I believe so. Let us know. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook and let me know what it is. But I believe that there's a Mickey hat with a number 1 on it, which was the 1 year anniversary of the game, and same thing with the 2. So like it would be nice if like when you were scrolling through those, like if it was grayed out and it said, instead of just premium content unavailable, like if it said something like, this, released on Disney Magic Kingdom's 1-year anniversary, and like has the date or something, just to kind of put like some flavor text, behind it, so that you knew what was there.
I think Cynthia's onto something. I think that would be something that I would love to see in the game now too. It's something I hadn't thought about, but definitely something now that I'm very keen on seeing in the future.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about a while ago on a feature report was actually called the pin board, which was requested, which was basically like achievements or things where instead of getting like, for example, like the Wreck-It Ralph trophy as a decoration, you could get like a pin. And the pin was only available during the limited time content, and then you could show your pin boards off to other people. And it's just kind of like how in Disney World and Disneyland they do pin trading. So that's a big part of Disney. So I always like going back to that. I think that was a great idea that we got. That was in one of the first shows. So Cynthia, awesome idea. I think it would be really cool to see that in the game. And hopefully they do that sometime in the future. But now we have a special segment. We have a guest feature report. That's right, Disney Girl has a feature report. What would you like to see in the game?
Okay, so there are two things, and I think you have talked about it in one of your previous shows, but I kind of want to elaborate on it a little bit, is see the welcome screens with costumes with characters that you have got to level 10. It's something that I feel pretty passionately about, and I'm very frustrated that it's not in the game. Because, for example, like we got, the new costume for Minnie, and for example, I don't have Minnie's holiday outfit yet, and I'm a huge Minnie fan, and I want to see Minnie's welcome screen. I know it hasn't changed the welcome screen with those costumes, but I know some of the newer ones, like with Ariel and all that, the welcome screens have changed when you have a new costume. So for Cinderella, I don't know if Cinderella has a new welcome screen with her new comfy cozy costume, right? So something that I would like to be able to see is having that feature, maybe when you click the character to go into it, you could just click on the side and it would just show you the animation with the costume that you currently have on. Like it doesn't have to, say you leveled up or something, obviously, or you have to high five them, but just show that and then it would just go away, right? So
sure.
Just something to show off the costume, especially since I'm showing it on YouTube. It would be nice instead of just trying to like zoom into the character and they walk out of the costume shop and have their back to you for ages and you're like, turn around.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the home button on the character's tasks. I think that needs to be moved. So whenever you click a character, when you have it maxed out at level 10 and it says send the character home. So, for example, I have all my Lilo and Stitch characters maxed out to level 10. And when I'm tapping them all for the 60 minutes, right, all my characters, it's like that at home, send them home button is right at the top. And every single time I miss tap and I tap it to send them home and it drives me crazy. I just feel that button needs to be moved to the bottom, or it just needs to be moved to like beside the character's name or something like that. Something that's not right in your face when you're trying to just tap your characters out for 60 minutes.
No, absolutely. Like I agree. When I'm tapping through my characters to send them on their quests, especially like their 60 minutes, like you said, I have like a mental pattern, like because you learn the order of the characters as they're coming. Like who's coming next. You know which set's coming. So it's like in my head, I'm like thinking like top, bottom, top, bottom. You kind of like learn like you have like a cadence almost or a rhythm to like how you're tapping your guys because like you have to avoid that home button, and then you hit it by accident. You're like, ugh. So no, I like it. Like
broke my rhythm.
one of the things that they, thinking about what you said, like one of the things they had added to the character, like to that little screen there was when the character was involved in the tower challenge. They put like a little symbol there so that you knew to like not send them on quests. Remember how they added that little purple icon?
And that was awesome. Right.
So like maybe they could put a little button or something there to let you know like that character could go home or something, and then have it at the bottom. But yeah, I think it's a pretty terrible location.
Just because it's not a frequently used button, and for it to be right at the top.
Right. I think that it was put there probably at the beginning when they introduced Welcome Home to kind of like have people like, oh yeah, you know. But now that Welcome Home is known by everyone, you know, I think that it's not an ideal location. I agree.
Yeah, so those are the two things that if I had to, you know, tell Disney Magic Kingdom two things I would love for them to just change a little bit, those would be the two things.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. So if you're listening here and you have a feature report that you'd like to see implemented, please write in using any of our various social media platforms and let us know. Your idea could be on next week's show. So this week we're going to do Around the Community, and we're just going to answer a bunch of community questions. We won't have time to get to all of them today, so I do appreciate everyone writing in, and the ones that we don't get to today we will talk about on next week's show, or you could always contact me or Disney Girl on our various social media platforms, and we'd be happy to talk during the week there as well. So the first question is going to be from Carlos, and Carlos asks, what happens if we don't have Jasmine? So Disney Girl, why don't you let us know?
I think it's pretty standard. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, actually, was collecting the 5 ears hats and the 5 tiaras, and then using the 1,000 event currency, which is the hearts, to bring her in. So you'll just have to collect her a different way instead of trying to open legendary chests, which I know some people were doing, and they didn't realize that Jasmine wasn't actually in there right now. And they were trying to get her, and they're like, why can't I get Jasmine? I've been doing everything. It's like, because she's not there. So you kind of have to do that, the extra right now. If you don't have her, you need to collect her to get the costume, and as you said earlier, help for Vanellope. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Carlos.
Cool, yeah, and that's exactly it. Thank you so much for that answer. So the next one is from Dragon's X Shadow, and Dragon's X Shadow is a little panicked. They say, I had got Cinderella's comfy costume, and I have Ralph to level 6, though I have not been given the quest to welcome Vanellope. Why has this happened? I'm worried I'm not going to have to get her, and I have everything else apart from the pie stand and Calhoun. Do I need to get Calhoun to get Vanellope? Please help me.
What do you think?
So he has Cinderella's comfy costume, but he has not given the quest to welcome Vanellope. So you don't have the quest to welcome Vanellope yet. After you got Cinderella's comfy costume, you should get a quest from Cinderella. And that quest should be to get 1 shattered slipper. And that is all that you will need to do right now. The quest, if you notice that on the, it can be a little confusing, but if you look on the event page and under Vanellope, it now says welcome. The reason it says that is because you can now see her and see what tokens is needed to get her. But the only thing available at this point would be 1 Cinderella's shattered shoe and 1, what is it, the lamp, right? It's like a broken lamp for Jasmine.
Yes, I don't have that yet, but I believe that
so those are the
get.
only 2 things as of this taping, as this recording, that are available. So there's actually not a welcome quest. You will not see her in the top left corner of your quest log. That is not happening yet. So you are doing just fine. Just keep going, and make sure that you keep getting the other costumes, and just keep up with the rest of the event, and when Vanellope is ready to be welcomed, you will be there. So just keep at it. Okay.
I think that answers it.
From Matthew, how much vocal practice do you do to rehearse and figure out the voices for your impressions in your video? That is not directed at me. So Disney Girl.
I was gonna say, I'm like, quite a bit, actually. I pretty much listen to the movies. Like, I even sometimes have them on while I sleep, and I feel like I pick up things. Yeah, I just practice all the time. It's really bad, especially when there's an event coming up. Again, that movie is basically just on constant replay. So for this one, for example, for the I'm Gonna Wreck It one, it's brutal because I don't have access to the movie all the time, the Ralph Breaks the Internet one. So I'm just basically constantly have it on replay is the Wreck-It Ralph movie. So I can pretty much do most lines from all of these Disney movies, which I feel like is pretty impressive. But
Let's hear your Vanellope impression.
Oh yeah, what do you think about that, Ralph?
Whoa! That was awesome. You even got the raspiness to it. I love it.
Yeah, that took a little bit of work.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So let's go behind the scenes. Do you like look in a mirror and do it, or do you just keep saying it to yourself? Like, how do you practice?
It depends. Sometimes, like if I have the movie on and I'm waiting for maybe one of my videos to upload to YouTube or something, I'll literally just talk with the movie and keep going. Other times, like if I'm running on the treadmill, I'll literally be doing it then, just trying to, because it challenges me to like try and do things like when, like even if I have a voice I feel like perfect, like Mickey or Minnie, I'll still try and do something like that just so, I can work on it. Now, there's nobody else around, mind you. Yeah, because if there are people around, I definitely wouldn't do it. But a lot of the times, like when I'm active and doing things like that.
Sure. I challenge you to
go. I've definitely done the mirror stuff.
I challenge you to go to the grocery store and check out in Vanellope's voice. That is your challenge.
Oh, look. It's an apple.
All right. So thank you for that. Next question from Blake. So last time on the show, I had mentioned that I was getting close to the end of the storyline. Do you think that they'll expand it out, or do you think that they're going to have a definitive end to the story? What do you think, Disney Girl?
I think it would be really tragic if they had a definitive end to a storyline. That would really upset me. I think that they will expand on it, but they're not going to do it right away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that when you're making $114 million, you don't just stop a story. That's why Frozen 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
So they're doing something right. The events are great, especially. I mean, this event has changed is up to the bar for their other events, but the storyline needs to expand. They did recently expand it with the Pirates storyline, so you had more pirates. You got more. You also got more Peter Pan characters.
We got Fairy Godmother a while ago too. He was really great to help with the Cinderella one.
Yeah, that was before my time. But yes,
Oh.
she was. But I was actually on the wiki today, and I saw that. I was going through some stuff. So yeah, so they will. They definitely will keep going on with the story. There might be definitive ends to specific storylines. Like for example, if there's like a Mickey storyline or a Minnie storyline, like that, they may not expand on those necessarily, or maybe they'll come back to them. But
I think they could do maybe seasonal stuff. Sorry to interrupt. I think they could do maybe seasonal things where, like, at Halloween or something, they'll put out some additional dialogue. I think that would be cool. But I don't think you can just end the stories because there's just way too much that can be said with them.
Right.
And way too many more characters that they could add. Like even Toy Story, I know a lot of people are upset that Slinky Dog or Mr. Potato Head aren't even in the kingdom yet. So, and they're like huge characters in Toy Story, right? So I don't know. I think that they're not going to end anything. I think they're going to keep expanding on the stories.
Absolutely. All right. So that is all we're going to be able to get to today. There's one more question that I really like from Aiden, but Aiden, I'm going to save your question actually for next week's feature report because I think that idea would be a really good feature suggestion. So I'm actually going to say that. So stick around to next week and we'll talk about your question then. And thank you everyone else for your questions. We will save them as well. So we just are running out of time tonight. So there are some other things around the kingdom just to talk about. Aladdin chests became available at the start of the chapter for the usual price of 60 gems each, or $9.99 for the 6-pack, with a guaranteed epic or legendary. They will be available for another 2 weeks or so, which is pretty much right toward the end of the event, which is the same as the Frozen chests, which are still available and will be for the next 2 weeks for the usual price as well. I am guessing that tomorrow we will see the Beauty and the Beast chests magically appear into the shop, and they will magically disappear out of my wallet. But yeah, I'm guessing we will see those. And speaking of the Aladdin chests, real quick, I had gotten the Aladdin characters from those magical chests way back, just a couple of during the Tower Challenge, I guess. So I did not have the costumes or the float, so I did purchase the legendary just to get those costumes because I am just like that, and I wanted to do that quest.
That's smart. Oh my gosh. You won't believe what happened to me when that whole magical chest was happening. I wanted Oogie Boogie so bad. I ended up spending like over $100 in magical chests, and I got like tons of characters, like all the Alice collection and everything, but it was just horrible. And I said, like, I'm going to keep opening them until I get Oogie Boogie. And I was recording and I was like, purchase. It's like, oh, and he was the very last thing that I got too. Like, I even got Jafar and the Queen of Hearts and everything. I was going, really? Like, come on.
Okay, so the Burt Pie stand, pizza stand, and popcorn stand are still available for 60 gems each. They are limited for the event, so if you want to get them sooner rather than later. And finally, this week, the event currency bundle is 100 gems plus 5,000 event currency for $4.99. There were one new 5-star rating, so thank you to the person who gave us that 5-star rating on iTunes. There were, however, no new 5-star reviews. Please, if you get a chance, leave us a 5-star review and we will read it on the show. Want to give a quick shout out once again to everyone on Facebook and Twitter. Again, this week has been amazing. We're getting so much more interaction. People are talking with each other now, and really just having awesome conversations on Twitter and in our Facebook groups. So please, just stick with it. We have an awesome community and help spread the word. The more people that you bring into this community, the cooler it's going to be. So thank you for that. Disney Girl, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I do actually. Shout out to all of my followers out there. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and making this first year. It's not quite up yet, but my first year playing Disney Magic Kingdoms, absolutely amazing. So thank you, everybody.
Cool. All right, so that's pretty much it for this week. On next week's show, a geeky chick returns to talk some Wreck-It Ralph. Will we be live? I don't know. We might be.
Dun, dun, dun.
So make sure you check out our Facebook and Twitter pages to find out more. Thank you so much, Disney Girl, for joining us. I really hope you had a good time, and we hope that you'd want to come back.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I did have the best time, and hopefully I'll be able to come back and do some more impressions for you, some different ones.
well, you already made a great impression.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, if you want to help support the show, please head over to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Doing this is quick and easy, costs you nothing, but helps us greatly to be seen by other people so they can enjoy the show also. All 5-star reviews will be read at the end of each episode. If you want to be more involved with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at ATK Podcast and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ATK Podcast. Here you will find out before anyone else about breaking news that we hear, information on contests and giveaways, when new shows are published, and of course my ramblings and photos from my day-to-day playing. Also, you can write into the show. Our email address is aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show, what's working, what's terrible, or any other topic you want to write in about. Or just even write in if you want to say hi. Thanks again for joining us this week. I am Steve Squirrel. For me and Disney Girl, thank you so much again, and we will see you around the kingdom next week.